Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Brain Box. We're going to get started. And today's session is going to be about I need to get more customers. That's the question that a lot of notaries will ask. And it's very important because it is one of the main ways that you will remain in business, and you must absolutely get more customers. If you don't get more customers, then the likelihood of you remaining in business isn't very high. And it's important that you do this because as we get more customers, right, you're helping more people get their documents taken care of. And you want to actually put this notary automation business engine to use. And getting more customers is one of the main ways that we can measure our progress. It's imperative that we get our customers to say yes. When people get on the phone with you, when people call you and they looking to get some documents taken care of, your success is predicated on your ability to get a yes out of the customers and get them to hire you. So as you continue to do this and continue to strive for this, then the brain box is set up to help you use a different level of strategy and different approaches, and also offer a different level of perspective that you can accomplish this more efficiently. So as you know, Brain Box is every Thursday, 8:30 a.m. This is how we start. These are the topics that you will not see happening in on a day-to-day basis. And as you build your skills, which is something we'll talk about later, having this continuously reinforced is going to be more important. And we're going to have a variety of topics. Talk about Google Ads. We talk about outsourcing. We talk about skill building and objection handling, like today, and a lot of the technical aspect of documents themselves, individual documents, that is overlooked here. All right, we don't concentrate too much on the document themselves. We focus more so on the scenario and the environment surrounding the appointment so that we can get this done and we can get more clients. So if you want to learn more about getting into the brain box, then go to drtech.com and you can find out more information. So I need to get more customers. I need more clients. This is always at the top of the list for many people who have notary commissions, and it kind of falls into the same category as people who do fingerprinting. And I mean, really, if you think about it, any type of service, I don't care if you install pools or jacuzzis, or if you do landscaping, you turn, you fix tires and you change, you know, you paint houses. It doesn't matter what it is that you offer. Is ultimately what you need is more customers. So here is an example of some of the customers that um, Notaries can offer. You can work obviously with nursing homes and retirement communities. Those type of places are, it's appropriate to go in those type of areas, in those type of establishments. But even the less obvious ones, like roofing companies, for example, and car dealerships, and even robotic learning businesses, like if you look right in the middle here, these notary services are needed everywhere. I mean, here's a gas line company, obviously the attorneys, and here's a healthcare administrative system. Every person in every walk of life at some point in time will probably need a notary. And it's just that some of these are needed more often than others. So the question is, how do I get more leads? And as you know, as you go through the notary automation training, how do I get more leads is often the first question that you think of once you have a commission. It's also the third question that you really should be asking: how do I get more leads? That's number three. That's the third question that should be asked. The second question, right before you ask how to get more leads, is how do I use these tools? And then, well, if that's number two, then what's the first question? The first question is, what are the tools that you're missing? So once you find out what are the tools you have that are missing, then you find out how to use these tools, and then once you have these tools in place, you know how to use them. And now the question becomes, how do you get more leads? All right. So what are the tools that you need? There are the tools. How do you use the tools? And now it's time to go get more leads. Now it's time to go and invest into Thumbtack and go invest into Google ads and all these other Yelp advertising services. Because once you're confident that you can get any of the leads, then it's just a matter of you taking as many as possible. But you can't skip skip step number one before you get to step number three. All right. So tools are the same as skills. They get built and then they also have to be maintained. And as you can see, there's a picture of me in high school when I was a bodybuilder and when I was psych, that's not me. Listen, the point is when you build up these skills, they have to be continuously monitored and maintained and improved. And that's exactly how you build brick by brick by brick by brick until you have a full-on indestructible wall of booking appointments. And it makes you more confident, it makes you more sturdy, and it is incredibly powerful that once you have these things in place, you just maintain it, tweak it here and there. And that's exactly what it has to do. It's the same thing applies when you're building a house, building an apartment building or a skyscraper, or if you're building your body, as this situation, if you're exercising, it requires continuously maintenance. And it goes for relationships, it goes for your own personal development. Once you build these skills, they have to continuously be maintained. And the better you do it, then the better results you get. So
It's a
let's go
great day
ahead.
at Oakland Notary. This is Herman speaking. How can I help you?
Hello. This is John. I recently called you.
So let me set the stage here for this particular call. This is a person who called me twice. This is the third time they've called. They've called me once before, and I go ahead and proceeded to send them the heat-seeking missile link so they can book the appointment. And then they called me again because they had a question. And now this is the third. So the second time they were on their way to booking the appointment, and this is the third call. So call me once. They, I went through the whole disqualification process, determined that I can help them, and they call me again. And at that time, a day has passed. So let me give you a little bit more context. A day has passed, and they called me again, and I remember this guy's voice because he was so relaxed, and I knew that he wasn't calling on behalf of himself. He was calling on behalf of a family member. So he went and got the link, and then he proceeded to go ahead and proceed with booking the appointment. Now, at this time, he called me back, and this is the conversation that ensued. And I want you to kind of pay attention to what his tone is. Again, the things that we look for, things that we listen for are pace. And a good way to remember this is PTSD: pace, tone, speed, dialect. PTSD, right? Not post traumatic stress disorder, but pace, tone, their, I'm sorry, pace, speed, tone, and their dialect. I want you to listen to what his real concern is, and then I'll make some commentary as we go ahead. So let's listen.
It's a great day at Oakland Notary. This is Herman speaking. How can I help you?
Hello. This is John. I recently called you, I believe, if I'm speaking to the right person.
Yes.
I didn't know until, because I don't believe we spoke over the phone about this. I didn't see this until I received the link, maybe like 5 minutes after we talked or whatever, that the price changes if it's real estate related.
So what he's referring to, as we just witnessed in the previous call, is that when people get in contact with you, again, it's important that you convey the message that first you can help them. It doesn't matter about the price. It doesn't matter about throwing out all these intangible obstacles here, like in terms of whether or not how much does it cost, how much does it cost. First, establish that you can help them. And what he's referring to is that, oh, I don't believe that we discussed this first. Yeah, because you never asked. You asked me if I can help you. And then that's when you, again, convey the message that you can actually help this person. It's important that you do that first. And the reason why is because people, they often lie. People come up with stories. People withhold information. They may do it intentionally. They may do it unintentionally, but they conceal certain details because they don't have to share what they're trying to do with their uncles or with their neighbors or with whoever. So it's important that you can establish first that you can help this person. And that's what he's referring to as I don't believe we've discussed this. Yeah, you're right. We didn't discuss the price. We discussed whether or not I can help you. And that's what, we were successful in doing. And now he's calling back because with the tools that you have, knowing your process, first you can, make a distinguishable um, uh, uh, claim that you can help this person. You can, without a question, help them. They must understand that, and that's what he's referring to here. And as he goes through the process here, what he realizes that he needs additional help. He probably needs more help, and he's saying that, oh yeah, if you need more help, then yeah, absolutely, then that requires more of an investment on your behalf. And he's saying that, oh, we never discussed that. Yeah, we know we didn't because we went off the information that you shared. But now that you have more information, yeah, it's appropriate. That's you're not calling a $2 notary here. You're calling somebody who knows what they're doing. That's what he's paying. That's what you're paying for. So let's go ahead and listen.
Oh, yes. Okay. If the document is related to the transaction of property, in other words, are you selling a home or are you closing on a loan mortgage?
So I call him that because I make it clear that this is not a loan packet. I need to understand, right? And then he's listened to his response. I asked him a question. You're not selling the house, are you? Like this isn't a loan closing because if you were, then that would be a completely different price. That's 275, and you're really paying more. But in this case, sir, you're actually saving a lot of money. But he doesn't understand that first. I'm going to help him understand this.
No, this is the sale of land that is a part of an inheritance.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so what we'll do, all right, that makes sense. So what we'll do is send you an updated link, or other words, you can follow that same recommendation on the intake form. So we can send you another one. Give us about 30 seconds and we'll send you the updated version. Otherwise, you can follow the same link. We'll be able to help you.
And again, just for context, what he called me for, and I asked him, who's signing? He says him. No, he says his uncle. And he was unsure if it would be anyone else signing. So that counts as one signature. And then he says, oh, it's regarding real estate property. I'll say, okay, it's still one signature, right? Okay, good. All right, so we can still help you. But because it's property, yeah, there's a different cost associated with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that changes the price dramatically. It goes up like $100 and something. Am I correct?
Yes, for the real estate document, it's 189, I believe, 189.47.
For the record, it went up $105 and some change. So the original price was 84, and then the next price was 189. So about $105 for the record.
Yeah, I just didn't know that the price would change based on the document. I was under the impression. And because we did not speak about that over the phone. I was under the impression that the price would be $84. I can see. Well, I guess even if the document probably doesn't have anything real estate related on it, it's still the fact that it's the process of.
You see him kind of just rambling at this point. He's just talking, and he's searching for something. I guess he's waiting for me to respond, waiting for me to react. But this is what your customers will do. They will play as if they didn't know. Like, oh, and now it's up to you to make things right. But again, this is why it's important to stand firm and understand your process. But let's listen.
Selling land, so the price goes up $100.
Yes. Is the document you have an affidavit?
So I stop him right there and I just ask him, and anytime you're in a situation where someone's just kind of talking and not really, they're not being very clear with what it is, you know what they're talking about. He's talking about, oh, I don't want to pay $100. Well, you're acquiring land. This has to do with the transfer of land. This isn't just, land, and that's a big deal, sir. You're transferring land, and if you don't want to pay $100, then that's okay. But I'm not putting my name on that. And you want to transfer land, and you want to do it remotely. You want to do it for us on behalf of an uncle who's incapable of doing it himself. You're calling on behalf of another family member to transfer land. Okay. So I straight up ask him, "Is this an affidavit, sir? Because if that's the case, then that changes the price and perhaps you can save some money." But listen to his response. I asked him, "Is this an affidavit, sir?" I just cut him off. And you should try this as well. Just ask the questions. That's the way that you kind of end this, and then um, advance it forward. Ask the question. And I asked him, the question in this case was, "Is this an affidavit, sir?" And listen, I want you to listen to his response. He doesn't know what he's really talking about. He doesn't really know. And at this point, he doesn't really understand that he actually needs my help. And you'll hear this later on. He actually needs our help. He needs the help of an expert. But again, my question, what what do you have? Is this an affidavit? And let's listen to his response.
I'll have to check.
And just to confirm,
See, I already know. He doesn't even know. He says, "I have to check." That's a yes or no question. He says, I have to check." And then I just dismiss it because I'm trying to express to this guy, listen, you don't really know what you're doing. That's why you kind of screwed up the first time. And he'll say that in the end. You'll kind of hear that. I kind of gave it away, but he's gonna say how much he screwed up. But you'll hear it.
you're not closing on a mortgage. Is that correct?
No, this has nothing to do with mortgage.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So yeah, so it sounds like we can still get this done. We can still help you out.
So I say, hey, despite you don't know what you're doing, and then you confirm that this is not a mortgage, we can still get this done. Let's get this taken care of, sir.
And if your uncle and you sound like you're ready to move forward, what we'll do is just send you an updated link there, and you can complete that intake form. Yeah, we can still help you get this done.
yeah, I know you can still help me as a notary, but the price has gone up $100.
Yes.
Yes, the price has gone up $100 because this has to do with land, the transfer of property. And he's being assertive about not paying the extra price. So for at this point, we understand as skilled listeners that this is solely about numbers. So at this point, it's my obligation to try and help this person best I can. But again, I can't, and you neither can you. You can't do this for pennies. Not only does that show that you don't know what you're doing, especially with the call that we just took earlier on with the attorney who says that he doesn't pay, or he tried getting an attorney notary yesterday for his client, and they didn't show up because you didn't pay first. That's the reason why. So we require that you pay first because we do show up, and this is what he's saying is the same thing.
That's the thing. I will have to look elsewhere. Then I was not under the impression that the price would go up $100 because this was something once it's related to the transfer of the land that the price goes up. So I will most likely have to look elsewhere.
I see.
Appreciate you taking the time to.
So he's very genuine and he's very appreciative, but he's this is what your college will do. They'll test you, and for people who don't want to pay money, they're very skilled at this. They'll try to get you to somehow come down on the price, and that's what he's trying to do. And that's okay. I understand. It's nothing personal. Don't take it offense by anything, but it's very the point is that you as a provider, you as the professional, that you don't budge. You stand firm on your process, because otherwise you can appear as if you can be swayed into anything. You can be talked to anything, right? And it's important that this person isn't calling the shots. It's you who's calling the shots. You're the professional. You're the person who sat in the class. You're the person who took the test. You're the person who passed the exam. You went to notary school, not them. They don't call the shots. It's you who call the shots. And it's got to be that approach, especially when somebody wants to lowball you. So let's listen.
I guess so. Speak with me over the phone.
No problem. Are you looking to get the document reviewed?
So again, I just dismiss what he's saying because it doesn't ultimately result in him getting this signed. So I just advance this forward. Do you need us to review this document? Because I'm asking. And the reality is he does. Let's listen to his answer, because he says we don't need to review it, but he's going to later reveal how it was done incorrectly because it wasn't examined correctly. So let's see.
It needs to be noted.
You see how that paused him for a second too as well? So whenever you know situations, ask the person, hey, do you need this examined?
No problem. Are you looking to get the document reviewed?
It needs to be notarized.
Oh yeah, so you're just looking for, yeah, okay, so you're not looking for the document to be examined or reviewed or drafted, is that correct?
Yeah, we're not attorneys. We're not going to.
No, you just need to just sit there, watch him sign it, and that's it. It's one page, so he filled out everything, but the notary that was notarizing it missed one document.
You hear that? He said the notary who notarized it missed one document. So let's continue to listen.
So they sent it back and said, hey, sorry to bug you, but this needs to be notarized. So it's one document.
So it was previously rejected because he hired a $2 notary, and they probably charged him like $15, and then he got it done incorrectly. So he wants to kind of he's comparing us experts to these corner store notaries.
No packet, no nothing. Everything's already in Texas. It's just this one document. I need to.
Okay. And do you already have the document prepared to be signed? You haven't signed it yet, is that correct?
So that's a great question, because I asked him, do you have this document already prepared to be signed? And let's listen to his answer. And again, we are not cheap notaries, but let's listen to his answer, and you'll understand why I asked that question.
No, the document needs to be printed out.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
guess
Do you have a copy?
So he needs us to print it for him. So there's a charge there, and that probably didn't happen last time. So he needs us to print it, number one. And
your uncle also have a copy, or do you both need copies?
I don't need a copy. I'm in Sacramento, so
Okay.
I'm sending this up for my uncle because he is an older gentleman.
Yes. Okay. So this is what we can do.
so he needs us to print it, and then also he needs copies. He doesn't know that, but his uncle. So you're displaying your expertise at this point. You're saying, listen, I want to save you some time. I'm going to print 2 copies. I'm going to leave one for you because you need an original. Your uncle, somebody, you need an original. And then wherever it's being shipped to, in this case, Texas, they also need a copy as well. So I'm going to do 2 of these. So I'm explaining to this guy how, because we don't charge $15, because that whole point would be overlooked, we charge $189, and this is the reason why, because we're saving you future headaches. This is when people question why you charge so much. This is how you justify your costs. You build in, you're demonstrating why it is that you are the best, why it is that you answer the phone, why is it that you picked up on the first call, why is it that you walk him through a straightforward process, why is it that you presented him with the link, and then for the complete, you're backing up all those things that you've done. So just listen.
So again, our mobile service, we go directly to Uncle. And what we'll do is identify him, and we'll witness him sign the document. We'll provide it for them as well. And also, sounds like you need to have it shipped to Sacramento, or is it going to a different location?
No. He has a FedEx label printed out and it's going to Texas.
Yes. Okay. And what we'll do is, so we'll provide a copy of the document to him, and then also so that way having the original is always good. So we'll leave a copy with him, and then we'll also ship it back to the destination via FedEx. So we'll take care of all that from door to door. And just to confirm, your uncle will sign this document. Is that correct? He will sign it if we bring it to him. Okay. All right. He's expecting us to come. Will he know who we are when we arrive?
Yes, and I left his phone number in the document that I'm currently that you guys sent me. My thing is, because you're saying that you can provide the service. I know that the issue is the pricing going up $100. That's the only thing. I know as a mobile notary, you guys are mobile. I just don't want to pay $180 something for.
Yeah, so there's the big thing. He's looking at it squarely from the number, and he's going to take a hint at this. You know, he'll give you sort of an example of why it's the number that matters to him at the end. But ultimately, let's continue to listen. At this point, this is this becomes more of a teaching call. This becomes more of a exercise, because we understand that this probably isn't our client. We can still help him, but this particular guy is just looking for the cheapest guy on the block. That's it. So here's an opportunity, to actually practice some of your objection skills. And my thing is, and I'm not taking this personal, but I'm actually going to be the sacrificial lamb here in this case. I'm going to let you guys kind of hear. So you don't have to do this, but I'm going to take the fall for you. I'm going to keep him on the phone as long as possible. Now, under normal circumstances, if this wasn't being, documented, I would just, say, okay, no problem. Call us if you need help, and I'll just hang up. I'll just go about my day, go about, what I have to do. But I'm going to keep him on the phone as long as possible, just to demonstrate to the listeners, to you all, that although customers might say, you know what, I don't want to spend that much money. Okay, I get that. But ultimately, you still need to have this signed. Isn't that correct? At some point, this is going to get taken care of. Do you want to do it cheaper, or do you want to do it later? So, and you'll hear me kind of hint at this towards the end, where I'll talk about, well, if it's not so much time sensitive, then we can just do it later on, and then you can save some money if it's really about the price, right? And then, but I want to at this point kind of flip the progress of the call and kind of tell you this is where I kind of shift into more of a teaching mode here. And I want to just demonstrate to you all that you can keep, if it was really about the price, what he would just hang up the phone. He would just end the call and just say, I need to go find somebody cheaper because this is urgent. This is serious. What he's trying to do is get me to come down on the price as much as possible, because he tried going to other people and they told him that they're not doing it. Or he went to another person and they did it incorrectly. Or he went to another notary and they told him to get lost because he's trying to do something that's confusing. He's not sure about this land transfer. He's not sure if his uncle's going to sign it. That's the reason why he's staying on the phone. He's waiting for me to budge, waiting for me to drop my price. But that's not happening.
Or one document to be signed.
Okay.
That is my issue. You can provide the service. I know that the issue is the pricing going up $100. That's the only thing. I know as a mobile notary, you guys are mobile. I just don't want to pay $180 something for one document to be signed.
Okay.
So yeah, for the record, the price didn't go up $189. That is the price. That actually is the low price for that particular document that he's trying to do. And he just makes it very clear that he doesn't want to pay. He just doesn't. If you don't have the money, I know you don't have the money. That's okay. But what I'm saying is, if you don't need it right now, then let's do it later on. You can save some money, and you'll kind of hear me go at this.
Okay.
That is my issue. So if it's going to be $184, then I will have to respectfully continue to look.
So my question is, do you need it done today? Or are you looking to get this done next week?
It needs to be done today. But like I said,
So if he needed it to be done next week, then that's where I would have offered him, you can save $50, $60, $70, $80. Get it back to a place where he's comfortable so that he can get it done the right way. But he says, I need it done today. Today, okay, then that's what the price is. If you want it done, what he's saying, he doesn't mention this in the call, but this is basically in the next 45 minutes. It was around, I don't know, 10:30 or so, and he needed done about 11:15, or that was the earliest appointment time. And he said, yeah, I want to go with that one. Because he clearly went through the process. That's why he's making this phone call. He went through the steps and he went down the line of booking this appointment. So he was ready to go.
Question is, do you need it done today? Or are you looking to get this done next week?
it needs to be done today. But like I said, I can call another mobile notary that has a more competitive price. If I don't, then I'll ultimately have to pay $180 something through you guys. But I will just have to look elsewhere.
See, he even admits it there. If I can't find anybody, I'll ultimately have to pay you guys. Which, come on, son. If you need it done now, which you said you do, then you need to get it done now.
More competitive price. If I don't, then I'll ultimately have to pay $180 something through you guys. But I will just have to look elsewhere because I didn't expect to pay $184.
I see.
Not knowing that the document changes the pricing.
I see.
And it's one document.
I understand. I see. In other words, you would like to get this done today and also have it done correctly and make sure that there's no mistakes and that you can get this taken care of.
Sir.
Sounds like you've tried this before.
Sir.
We can help you get this taken care of today. Feel free to call us if you have any questions, and we can.
So I'm basically just telling, all right, I see that you need it done today. You want it done correctly. And, just call us if you have any questions. At this point, I'm just, all right. This person, he understands. He even says, I ultimately might have to call you back and pay you $184 to get this done correctly, because that further goes along to support that it's not the price, man. You have to ultimately get this done. You can pay $50 to anybody, but if they do it incorrectly, then you just pay $50 again to them again and again and again. What is the cost of your time? How much is an hour of your time worth? That's the question that he has to answer for himself. So let's listen to this conclusion.
Also have it done correctly and make sure that there's no mistakes and that you can get this taken care of.
Sir.
Sounds like you've tried this before.
Sir.
We can help you get this taken care of today. Feel free to call us if you have any questions, and our service is guaranteed. It's not mistaken or notice rejected.
It's a notary. It's a notary. You watch them sign it and you notarize it. It's one document. There's probably not a notary in Oakland that could mess this up. It's one page.
Interesting that he says there's probably not a notary in Oakland that can mess it up. After that's already taken place, that's already happened, and that's the reason why he's on the phone with us. So you can hear that he's saying that he probably can't mess it up. But if this wasn't for teaching purposes and this was just like on a personal call, I would have kind of pushed back there a little bit, but there's no reason to. What I would have said was, not only did a notary mess it up, but I would ask him, it would just be a question. Did you go to notary school, or did you go to law school, or did you pass the notary exam? I would ask him that, because he says, "Oh, it's just witnessing. You just watching somebody sign." Yeah, it looks like that, but that's not really the case. I look at the document first, and I make sure that you do it correctly, so that the person doesn't make a mistake. See, oftentimes you think it's just watching somebody sign a document, and yes, it is on the surface. But if you really understand how this works, then you make sure that they do it correctly. And because people will make mistakes. They've never done this before. They've never filled out a minor travel consent form. They never filled out a power of attorney. They've never done this before. So they actually need someone to help them do this. And he's kind of downplaying that. He doesn't, I don't take offense, because he doesn't know.
Guaranteed. It's not mistaken or
Sir,
notice rejected.
it's a notary. It's a notary. You watch them sign it and you notarize it. It's one document. There's probably not a notary in Oakland that could mess this up. It's one page. That's it. If this was a whole packet, then when you said that, I would say, okay, I know it'll be done right because you're telling me this and it's a whole packet. It's one document.
Right.
Anyone who has a notary's license that has not expired can do this. I don't want to pay $180 something for something that can probably be competitively priced for, maybe max $30 because.
Yeah, so you hear what he says. He says, "I don't want to pay $100 and something for something that could be for $30, right?" Okay. But he does have a point. Anyone with a notary commission, he says notary license, anyone with a notary commission, whatever, they could do it. He's right about that. I'll give him that. He's very right about that. But here's what they can't do. They can't do it correctly. Of course, they can do it. They can witness you sign. They can stamp it. But this is costing him time. The less he pays for it, in this case, $30, it sounds like, then now he has to spend another day, because he did submit the document, and then whoever received it in Texas said it was done incorrectly or it was missing. So he has to go do it again. And that's why he's here. But he's right. Anyone can do it. Yeah, that's right. Anyone can do it. And then anyone can do it incorrectly. But it takes the right person to do it the right way.
They have to pay for gas to drive about 8 minutes to his location.
Yeah. My question is, so if the cost is a concern, and I understand that, what we can do is, and if you don't need.
So here's like a last ditch effort. I'm just telling this guy, hey, listen, man, I understand cost is a concern to you. Let's just get it done for cheaper then. Let's go. Let's see what he says.
Need it done today. You don't need it done, and it's not urgent or time sensitive, and you're flexible with time. What we'll do is send you an updated link, and you can save $50, and then you can at least get this taken care of.
So either way, he has to pay first, because when you encounter these type of customers, it's imperative that you make them pay first,
so that you can move on to the next step.
It needs. I appreciate your sales pitch and you trying to get a sale, but it needs to be done today. And
yeah, he says he appreciates the sales pitch and me trying to get a sale. I'm not trying to get a sale. I'm trying to help you. I don't need the sale. I really don't. You need me. That's what we're trying to convey to these customers, that they need us. We're notaries. You have to get this thing signed. So yeah, we can help you get this signed, but we're not going to do it for $30 and then print it and then ship it and then take it to FedEx store and do it. No. And you don't want to do that, because what happens when you do that, they do it incorrectly, like he just experienced.
I will respectfully take the rest of my day to find someone who can do it at a much cheaper price, and $180 something, I could probably find someone 2 cities over, and it'd still be cheaper than this, because it's one whole document.
Okay.
So I don't want to keep going around in circles with you, sir, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you taking the time to.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let him go. I was just going to keep going and see how long I can keep him on.
Speak to me, and
yeah, we appreciate your time. Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, if you need it done today, we'll be happy to help you get this taken care of today.
All right. Yeah, we'll on the first.
All right.
Sir.
Great. Have a great day. Let us know if you need a notary. You know who to call.
All right.
All right. Take care.
All right. So, let me know down in the comments what you think about that. And ultimately, what happens is you don't want to be in a position where people are telling you what to do, where they're ultimately telling you what to charge. This is your business after all. You stand firm. You have a operations, you have a principle that you stand on, and your notary business can't be compromised by somebody who's just guessing at what they're doing. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't know what kind of document they have. They haven't read it. They don't know if their uncle's going to sign it, or you know they're talking about transferring land and inheritance. So when you come with when people come to you with these complex scenarios, then think about the events surrounding scenario. It's not so much a focus on the document or a focus on the price. It's really about where this person needs you to meet them. How do they want you to present the documents in terms of you printing them and then bringing multiple copies? And then you're dealing with elderly people who who require your assistance in knowing where to sign because they will ask you, "Hey, where do I sign this?" And the reality is you look at it and you read it and then you determine for yourself where you want to sign. If you sign it, then I'll notarize your signature. But when you start pointing at things and saying, "Hey, sign here, sign there," and someone does it incorrectly, and then you cost them the ability to inherit their land, and then they point the finger at you. So you point to where they need to sign and you're doing it correctly, and then they turn around and point it at you. You want to avoid that ever happening. You want to deal with people who know what they're doing. They know what time they want you to be there, and they know what they're signing because they've reviewed it. This is how you minimize your level of liability and minimize your risk. And it's very rare that these type of things happen, but they do happen. Just when they do, you want to be ready. You want to be in a position where you can help this person, not just because you do it for cheap, but because you do it correctly. And so that's one side of it. The other side is really just the customer experience is very individualized because we deal with people's personal lives and we deal with their, personal affairs. It's always going to be slightly different. It's always going to be it's going to be whether or not you're able to complete this, and them telling you um you know well, this is really has to do with me trying to access this account or me trying to sell this property or me trying to inherit this property. They leave out those details, and it's not up to you. It's not your necessarily your personal responsibility to dig and to interrogate and to find out those details. If you are signing this document, it's a legal document, then you have valid ID, then we'll do it for you. It's that serious. Tamika says this client is telling you your business and what should be charged in a way that's in a slight way. Yeah, I'll let her go. Go find another notary. He'll probably call back. Absolutely agree. And as you know, guys know, you want to learn more about the Brain Box and get into more sessions, more displays of training like this, then go to drtech.com. I'm going to go ahead and stop this here.